I'm Jordan Smith from Rapido Trains Inc. And this week I'm back in our slowly evolving new video studio here at Rapido HQ. This week I've got the production models of our all-new Amtrak later phase F40PH. As you can see, I have some of the models already laid out here. I also have two more here, Algoma Central and New Jersey Transit, so why don't I get these unboxed and we'll have a closer look. Well, I've already unpacked the Algoma Central F40, and we'll have a look at that in a sec, but let me open the New Jersey Transit F40PH and give you a closer look. As you can see, we've got new art on the box lid there. Let's put that aside. Opening up the package, we have the exploded parts diagram plus your parts list right there. Something new we're including again in a lot of our locomotives now is stickers, so we've included a couple of stickers. You might have different ones depending on which model you get. There's the foam top, and we've got the F40. Traditional sleeve with the clamshell inside. Lift the lid, lift that, and there we go. We'll just put this aside for a sec. And also, before I put this away, we do have the parts package. In this, you get a couple of extra lift rings, the different size of strobe beacon, which can be changed out for the smaller original versions that are on the engine. And that also applies to some of the other models we've got here. Let me put this aside, and we'll have a closer look at New Jersey Transit. As you can see, we have a lot of the later details. This unit was actually built late in 1981, so you've got some very unique details such as the low-profile Q fans, which was a late feature on a lot of the F40s. You've got the larger size exhaust stack when compared to the original units. NJ Transit, not being a mountainous railroad, along with MBTA, did not request dynamic brakes, so our models reflect that detail. Some of the other stuff we have on here, the strobe lights, as was pretty typical on all the F40s. We've got the K5 horns mounted between the number boards. As usual with every Rapido model, we've got separately applied grab irons and handrails all around. Separate windshield wipers. We actually seem to be missing one on there, but that's okay. We'll cut that part out. Operating headlight, we've got the operating marker lights. The strobes actually do work as well, so that's a function you can activate on your DCC system. Separate MU cables, airlines, full underbody detailing. There's that 1,800-gallon fuel tank and all the other air tanks and associated plumbing that you would see on the prototypes. Now let's look at the MBTA unit. Similar in terms of when this one was delivered, you've got the low-profile Q fans, no dynamic brakes. We've got the unique kind of horns with the snow shields on them. We've done that on the Amtrak modernized F40s as well. You've got the bell bracket mounted between the number boards just under the horn. Really neat engines overall. This represents kind of their early 90s look just before the ditch lights were installed. Okay, so next let's have a look at Amtrak Phase 2 on 280 here. This represents their as-delivered appearance in the later 70s. We've got the standard fans. These are not the Q fans. These are kind of a standard fan that EMD was putting on there at the time. Dynamic brakes, as you need to have for operating in any kind of mountainous territory. Again, the larger 1,800-gallon fuel tanks, K5 horn just between the number boards, operating strobes, operating headlights, number boards, and the side markers also operate. So that's Phase 2. These engines could be seen in Phase 2 as late as about 1984-85 before the last ones were repainted. Personally, that's probably my favorite paint scheme, but I'm a little bit strange. We've got the Ski Train F40 here. This is probably the most popular paint scheme we've got in this release, and they complement perfectly to our tempo cars, our Ski Train cars that we released back in 2019. These represent the modernized later phase Amtrak units. These were bought from Amtrak and were actually still sublettered, I believe, leased from Amtrak until they were sold to CN in 2009. So they have the Amtrak sublettering just below the cab windows there, but have all the modernized detailing, the larger strobes, air conditioner on the cab. They've got the updated doors, the updated cab steps, and ditch lights mounted to the nose, just like the late Amtrak units. So next we've got the Agua Canyon Tour Train F40PH, purchased by CN from the Rio Grande Ski Train in 2009, along with all of the tempo cars. All the same detailing, all the modernized details, but they've painted them in this really neat kind of maroon and silver and black paint scheme. They've got the CN sublettering, just above the number there, you've got the CN noodle, and the really neat Agua Canyon Tour Train logo on the side of the car bodies. These are really neat engines. I've actually seen them, they go back and forth if you're modeling kind of anywhere in the Toronto area, you see them going back and forth for servicing. Even in 2021, I've seen them down here on the Ballast sub just in the last year. So next we've got Montreal AMT. This is for commuter operations in the Montreal area. These units are representing their kind of 2000s, 2010s era look. They're not running anymore for AMT, but they will look good with our upcoming Comet cars, which are not too far down the road. So these are actually very, very similar to what they would have looked like in Amtrak service. They basically repainted them almost in the exact same colors and everything, just with a little bit of a different stripe coloring on there. But you can see the AMT logo. That's kind of an interesting logo on the side, and the number just below the cab windows there. Finally, last but not least, is the much asked about CSX executive units. These are used for the business train and have some unique detailing, which is different from all of the other paint schemes we're doing in this release. Now, these are later phase units. CSX had them rebuilt around, I think, 2006 or 7 when they bought them from Amtrak. A lot of the same details. You have the horn relocated to kind of just ahead of the dynamic brakes and behind the exhaust stack. Ditch lights that are operating, headlights, markers, all that bit. These do come with the strobes mounted on the roof. That's just part of the tooling, but they just pop off. If you just want to put a little plate over that, that's not too difficult to do for the modeler. The big unique feature about these, though, is the fuel tank. This was a custom piece that we did just for CSX, extra long range, and doesn't appear on any other F40. So why don't we head over to the test track and do a quick sound and light demonstration on them.
Hey Jason, can you move those Cylons from Babylon 5 out of the way?
Cyberman, they're not silent. Babylon freaking 5. Holy crow, I don't believe it. Anyway, can I start now? Hi everybody. Sorry to interrupt Jordan's bodacious video about the F40, but I have some news I want to share with you, specifically about the Phase 3, Amtrak Phase 3 paint. You'll notice that Jordan kind of skipped over the Amtrak Phase 3, didn't talk about it, even though they were there in parts of the video. The reason that he didn't talk about it was because right around the time he was filming this video, we discovered a problem. When these things arrived, the stripes, we learned by looking at it, and by a friend at Amtrak also discovering this, are 1 scale inch too thick. So 1 scale inch is 1/87th of an inch. It's about 11 thousandths of an inch, and they're 11 thousandths of an inch too thick. Now, most people would say, it's 11 thousandths of an inch, relax, I want my engines, please send me my engines, I really want those engines. Our take is, we want to get this right. The Amtrak Phase 3 paint is iconic. It's still in use today by Amtrak. So we want to ensure that when you get an Amtrak Phase 3 F40, it's absolutely perfect. At Rapido, we're really keen on accuracy. We're dedicated to getting the details, the painting, and the lettering correct. There have been times in the past where we've had to have shells remade. There have been times when we've sent out replacement shells to people after we shipped them. But because we caught this before it left, or actually before they arrived in our warehouse, because we just got them from samples, we said we're not going to do that. So what we've done is we've asked our factory to make a whole bunch of new shells with the correct 8-inch stripes, not 9-inch stripes. They're going to send those shells to us. We're hoping it'll be December or January. There's slowdowns right now at the factories because of power outages, but hopefully it'll be before too long. And then we're going to have an assembly line here at Rapido HQ where we take the shells off the old ones with the fat stripes and put on the shells with the correct stripes. So they'll be coming soon. Wonderful level of detail and accuracy. We hope you agree with us that it was the right decision to hold the Phase 3 Amtrak F40s and wait and send them to you when they're perfect. And that's about it. And I'll hand it back to Jordan.
So we're going to have a look at some of the different functions, lighting, sound, and otherwise. And to do this, I'm going to consult the handy-dandy, infamous Rapido operating manual, which I forgot to show in the unboxing. And here it is. If you have any questions when you're running your engine, just check the manual. So as you can see, I've got the New Jersey Transit unit here, and we're going to have a quick look at the lighting features. Of course, you can see the number boards are already lit. That can be activated either on or off using function 16. And the track inspection lights are always on, and they're on as you can see. So we've got, of course, the headlight. We have the red marker lights, which are on function 9. Important if you're running in push-pull mode. Turn off the headlight there so you can see that. We'll turn the headlight back on, and on function 7, you've got the dim headlight function. Great if you're having a meet and don't want to blind the oncoming train crew. We'll turn that back on fully again. And of course, we have the strobe lights mounted on the roof of the cab on function 10. This unit, of course, doesn't have ditch lights, but why don't we have a look at a unit that does? So next we've got the CSX executive unit here on the track. Number boards and track inspection lights are on. We've got the headlight. This has the ditch lights, which are activated on function 6. Let's turn those on. And I don't have all the sounds turned on right now, but as you can see, when you activate the horn, the ditch lights alternate as per prototype. This also applies to the other F40s with ditch lights, such as Rio Grande Ski Train, Montreal's AMT, and the later Amtrak units that were modernized in the 1990s. Of course, we couldn't forget the Rio Grande Ski Train F40PH. We've got the tempo cars here, the matching ski train tempo cars, and we just couldn't help ourselves. We had to put that on the track and go for a spin. So we've already got the headlight and lighting features on, but let's try the sound out, activated on function 8. You can hear the startup sequence. Horn, of course. Bell. And we'll put on standby, function 4, function 5 to go into run mode. That gets everything screaming there. And we're off. So that's a quick look at our later phase HO scale F40PH diesels. These are actually in transit right now from the factory, and if you haven't already ordered them, there may be a couple still left for pre-order on our website, but for the most part, we suggest you have a look at your local hobby shop and see what they have available. They will be out very soon. So once again, thanks for joining me. Have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video.